Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sheila. In today's tutorial we shall be learning how to make this beautiful bralette. I've got a request for more videos on tops, so I'll be giving you some more videos of tops. And this bralette is really beginner friendly, so don't be intimidated by its look. It can be made by a beginner, and it's very easy, and what makes it unique is its edging that I gave it. And so let's get into the tutorial. For this project you'll need a measuring tape, yarn, and for the yarn I'm going to be using Alize cotton gold in the color pink, and then a 2.75mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. So these are the items that you'll need. I'm going to put this away. So let's start. This is the color that I'm going to be using, and we are going to start off by making a bra cap. Now for the bra cap, you're going to make a foundation chain. So for a size small to medium, you'll need a foundation chain of 3 inches regardless of the hook that you're using. 3 inches. For a size large, you'll need 3.5 inches. For a size XL, you'll need 4 inches for the foundation chain. So I'm going to chain mine. I started off with a slip knot, and now I'm going to make my foundation chain. So chain until you reach that measurement for your size. So I say small to medium. I'll be making a medium size for this, and I've reached my 3 inches. You can see that. And these are 16 chains. I did a total of 16 chains. And then after your chain, you're going to chain up one more and go into the second chain from the hook with a single crochet. And then you're going to single crochet all the way down. This is the very first row. Go into each and every chain with a single crochet, and you'll have a total of 16 single crochets, or whatever number of chains that you started with. That's the number of stitches that you're going to have for the very first row. So I'm going into each and every chain with a single crochet. Now this is my very last one, and right now this is how your work should look like. And after this you're going to chain up 2, and this counts as our very first double crochet. Turn your work, and since this counts as a double crochet, that means you're not going to place a double crochet in this very first stitch. You're going into the next with a double crochet. So go into each and every stitch with 1 double crochet. So we are doing 1 double crochet in each and every stitch until the top. So you're going to place 1 double crochet in this very last stitch. This is how your work will look like. And now we're going on to this other side like this. So you're going to go on top. There's this space at the top of the single crochet row. You're going to go into that space and place 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, all in that same space. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. And after this, you're going to go into each and every stitch on the other side. So there are these stitches. You're going to go into each and every one of them with 1 double crochet all the way down. So 1 double crochet all the way down. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of row 2 and I'm going into the very last stitch with a double crochet, and this is how your work will look like. This is the very tip of our bra cup here, and whenever you get to this point, keep in mind that you have to put 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, all in that chain 1 space. So we're going to row 3. So for row 3, it's the same exact as row 2. So you chain up 2, which counts as a double crochet, turn your work, and since it counts as a double crochet, we don't place a double crochet in the very first stitch here. You go into the next with 1 double crochet and keep doing 1 double crochet in each and every stitch all the way up until you reach the chain 1 space at the top of the bra cup. Okay, so I've reached the chain 1 space and here it is, and I'm going to go into that chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, all in that same space. And after that, you're going to go into each and every remaining stitch with 1 double crochet. So 1 double crochet in each and every stitch all the way down. Let me try to be a bit fast. And don't forget to place a double crochet in this very first chain 2 because it counted as a stitch. So you go on top of it with a double crochet. So this is the end of row 3 because row 1 was the single crochet row, so we also count it as a row. So you're going to go ahead and keep repeating this same exact row, and don't forget to always place 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets in each chain 1 space at the top of the bra cup. So we're going to go ahead and do a total of 6 rows for size small, 7 rows for size medium, 9 rows for size large, 11 rows for size extra large. So keep working this row until you get to the measurement of your choice or whatever top that you're making. So remember, 6 for small, 7 for medium, 9 for large, 11 for XL. So I'm going to keep doing row 3 until I get to the size that I'm working for, which is a medium size. So I'll have a total of 7 rows. So I'm going to go off camera and I keep working until I get a total of 7 rows. Keep in mind the single crochet row counts as a row, so I'm counting the single crochet row as one of the rows and then 6 rows of double crochets to make a total of 7 rows. So continue working for your desired fit and then I'll meet you back when I have my rows ready. Alright, so I'm back with my total of 7 rows. I have my first row of single crochets, so it's 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So 6 rows of double crochets and 1 row of single crochets. So after this you're going to do something different. So you're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Turn your work. So I hope you did the number of rows that you needed for your size. So after your chain of 4, you're going to skip this next stitch and go into the next. We are going to do a row of mesh all around our bra cup. So chain 1, skip 1, go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and go into the next with a double crochet. So continue to do that until you reach the chain 1 space at the top of the bra cup. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next with a double crochet. Okay, so after this I have one more stitch left here. I'm going to chain 1, skip it, and then go into the chain 1 space and do the same exact thing that we've been doing. So 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets all in that same space, like that. And then you'll chain 1, skip the next stitch and go into the next. So we are back to the mesh pattern. Chain 1, skip the next, double crochet in the next, and go all the way down doing this until the end of the row. So we're almost coming to the end of the row and we are continuing to do the mesh pattern, the mesh stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. So I have 1 stitch left. That chain 2 is a stitch. I'm going to just chain 1 and go into it with a double crochet. I didn't want to skip it. I know this looks weird, but it won't show. It's better than skipping it out and then we deform the bra cup. So after this you're going onto your next row. For me that is row 9 because this was row 8. So for row 9 you're going to chain up 3 or whatever row you're on at this moment, because different sizes have different numbering for the different rows. So after your chain of 3, you're going to turn your work, and this counts as a double crochet. So go into the next chain space and place a double crochet there, and then double crochet in the next double crochet, then double crochet in the space and double crochet in the stitch. So we're going to do that all the way up. You go into the space and into the stitch with a double crochet. Make sure you don't skip any, and we're going to do that until we reach the chain 1 space up on the top of the bra cup. So we're going into the space and into the stitch. So this is a space, and there are 2 double crochets here before the chain 1 space. You're going to go into each and every one of them with 1 double crochet. And then when you reach the chain 1 space, you'll place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets, all in that same space, like that. And then place 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then continue with the pattern, placing 1 double crochet in the space and in the stitch all the way down to the end of the row. So go into the space and into the stitch with 1 double crochet. Alright, so I've placed my 1 double crochet in the last space, and you're going to make sure that you go into the last stitch on top of the chain 3 and place a double crochet. That will be your very last double crochet here. So at this point, you're going to have to try on your top and make sure it has full coverage. If it doesn't, you're going to go all the way back with another row of these, like the way we've been doing these rows of double crochets. You will just go all the way up, and when you get here, you know what to do. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and all the way down. And at this point, you can build your top until you have the full coverage for your size. But for me, this was enough. After doing this row, this was enough. And you're going to go ahead and do this same exact thing for a second bra cup, and you'll have 2 of them. So I'll go ahead and do mine. I'll meet you guys when I'm done with that. Alright, so here are my identical bra cups, and this is how they have come out. So this was the very first one, and I broke the yarn off and left this little strand. Then for this one, I haven't yet cut the yarn off, it's still attached. And for now, I'm going to get this little strand and go into this very first stitch and try my best to attach to this other middle strand, the middle stitch. So I'm joining corner to corner, so I'll pull through that loop and chain. I don't know the best way you join your cups, but this is perfectly fine, and I'll use a tapestry needle to make it more firm. But for now, this is what we have. And then I'm going to get a short strand of the same color and make a chain of 20 on this side, in this corner, this one. So go into the very last stitch on the edge and attach your yarn like that, and make a chain of 20, or a chain that doesn't completely close up your back side, because we want some space to lace up the strand at the back. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So when you get to your 20, you're going to chain one more and fasten and cut your yarn. So you're going to leave that side. This is what we are going to be having on this side. We shall weave in all these as we work on the row that cuts across. So we're going to go back to this side that we didn't cut our yarn, where we left off with the second bra cup, and we are going to chain up 20 just like we did on this side. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So when you have your 20 chains, you're going to chain 2 more, 1 2, and go into the 4th chain from the hook. So you don't count this one, count 1 2 3, and into the 4th you will do your double crochet. So keep double crocheting in each and every stitch. So you'll have 20 double crochets on this side before you join onto the bra cup. So 1 double crochet in each and every chain on the side. So we have our 20 double crochets here, and now we are joining onto the bra cup. So you're going to go into each and every double crochet space with 2 double crochets, or each and every row, because this is a row. You'll place 2 double crochets there, 2 double crochets in the next row, 2 double crochets in the next row, 2 in the next. So that's all we are going to do until we make it across the bra cups. So we are going into each and every row with 2 double crochets. Hope you can see that. So when you get to the single crochet row, you're going to just place 1 double crochet in there and then move on to the double crochet rows with 2 double crochets. Alright, so we are almost making it to the end of the very first bra cup. and I'm placing my very last 2 double crochets in the last row of the first bra cup, and this is what it looks like at the base of the bra cup. And after this, you're going to cross over to the next bra cup. You're not going to work anything here in the middle, just cross over to the next one and do the same exact thing. You're going to do the same exact thing as you've done on this side, onto this side, and make it across to the end of the chain. Remember, the chain will get 1 double crochet in each and every chain for a total of 20 double crochets, since we had 20 chains on the side. So I'm going to just make it across, and then I'll meet you guys when I'm at row 2 of the base. So here we are at the end of the base row. This is our very first row at the base of the bralette. And so for row 2 of the base, you're going to chain up 2, which counts as a double crochet, then turn your work, and now we're going to go into each and every double crochet. So this chain 2 counts as a stitch, so we won't be placing here. We shall be going on to the next one with a double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in each and every double crochet all the way across our work. So I'm going to do this, go all the way across with 1 double crochet in each and every double crochet below. Then I'll meet you when we are done with this row. Then we shall go on to the design part of the bralette. So I've come to the end of this row, and now we're going to do something different. You're going to chain up 6, and this counts as a double crochet, chain 3, turn your work. This is the design part of the bralette at the base. So you're going to you're not going to count this because it's attached to this chain. Count 3 stitches in, and into the 4th you're going to place 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you will have a total of 3 double crochets here. Chain 3, skip 3 stitches, and then place 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, like that. Chain 3, skip 3, and place 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's the repeat for this row. Chain 3, skip 3, place 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So I'm going to go all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up this this row. So I'm coming to the end of the row, and as you can see, we started with a chain of 6. That means we want to make sure that we end with chain 3 double crochet. So I have 3 chains left. I'm going to just chain up 3 and put 1 last double crochet in the last stitch. So we're just trying to balance what we started with what we ended with. So this chain 6 I told you counted as a double crochet chain 3, and we've ended with chain 3 double crochet. That means we've balanced both sides. And now we're going to the next row, and for the next row you're going to start off with a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Turn your work, place 2 more double crochets in this space, so that's a total of 3 double crochets. Then chain 3, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, so 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. Chain 3, 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. So that's all we are going to do for this row. So go all the way across, with the same exact pattern. Chain 3 double crochets in the next space. So this is what we are creating right now. So go all the way across doing that same exact thing, and when you come to the end of the row, you'll place your very last 3 double crochets in this space, and then I'll meet you guys when we're on the next row. So after this row, we're going to be doing something different for the next row. You're going to chain up 6, which counts as a double crochet, chain 3, turn your work and go into the very first chain 3 space with 3 double crochets, chain 3, go into the next chain space with 3 double crochets, chain 3, and now in the next space you're going to go in there with 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So we've placed a shell in this next space. Then you're going to chain 3, go into the next space with 3 double crochets, chain 3, go into the next space with 3 double crochets, chain 3, and into the next space we are going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So we've placed the same exact thing as we did here. So it's 2 places with 2 spaces with 3 double crochets, and then the next one gets a shell, then 2 with 3 double crochets, and the next one gets a shell. Go all the way across doing this. So we are coming to the end of the row, and I'm chaining my 3 chains and placing my very last 3 double crochets in the last 3 chain space, and then I'll chain up 3 and go into the very last stitch with a double crochet. Remember, we started this row with a chain of 6, so we end it with chain 3 double crochet to balance both sides. And now this is what I have. And now for the next row, we're going to be doing something a bit different. You're going to chain up 3, turn your work, and then we're going to chain 5 more. So 1 2 3 4 5, and go into these stitches here. You're going to skip over this and go into the next with a single crochet, then single crochet in the next, single crochet 3 times in the space, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, eliminating the very last one here, because that's what we've done at this point. We didn't place any here. So after this, you're going to chain up 5 and go into the shell with a shell. So this is a shell, so it will get 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets like that. Then you're going to chain up 5, do the same thing as we did here, eliminate the first stitch, go into the second with a single crochet in the next, single crochet 3 times in the space, then single crochet once in the next 2 stitches, eliminating this very last one. Then chain 5 and place a shell in the next shell. So a shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So that's what we are going to repeat all the way across. chain 5, skip this, go into the next stitch with a single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 3 times in the space, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you will have a total of 7 single crochets in between the shells. So this is what we are creating right now. So go all the way across doing that same exact thing until the end. I'll meet you at the end and I show you how to end your row. Done with placing my very last 7 single crochets in the middle of the shell. And now you can see what we have here: a shell, then the 7, then the chain of 8. We have a chain of 8 which counted as a double crochet, chain 5. So when we come to the end here, we're going to chain up 5 and then double crochet. You're going to count 1, 2, and into the 3rd chain, that's where you're going to place your double crochet. So we've balanced what we did here onto this side. And then for the next row, you're going to chain up 3, turn your work, chain 7 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a chain of 10. And then you're going to eliminate this first stitch, go into the next with a single crochet in the next. So we want a total of 5 double crochets because we had 7 in the beginning and now we are eliminating the ones at the edge. So we eliminate this one, we don't work anything there, and also in the first one. So now we have 5 single crochets. Then chain up 7 and then go into the shell with a shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So you should notice that we are now increasing. We are increasing these chains. At first they were 3, then 5, then 7. Now that means the next row will get a total of 9 chains. So this is how it looks like. Then chain 7, eliminate the very first single crochet, and into the second single crochet you're going to place 1 single crochet and continue to single crochet until you have a total of 5 single crochets. So we've eliminated this one and this one, the first and the last single crochets, and after this you're going to chain up 7 and go into the next shell with a shell. Like that. And this is the repeat for this row. You're going to go all the way across doing that same exact thing, and then I'll meet you at the end to show you how to end your row. So I've finished placing my very last 5 single crochets here, and I'm going to chain up 7 and go into, you're going to count from the base of the chain, 1, 2, and into the 3rd chain you're going to place your double crochet. Sorry, that's the very last double crochet, and this is how your work looks like. So we're going to the next row, and you'll start off with a chain of 3, chain 3, turn your work, chain 9 more. So now we are on the row where we chain 9 in between. Then eliminate this one, go into the next single crochet with a single crochet, and keep placing single crochets until you have a total of 3. So this row had 7 single crochets, then this one has 5, and then this one has 3. So 3 single crochets, chain 9, and then place a shell in the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So this is what it will look like. And after this you're going to chain up 9, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then eliminate the first one, go into the second single crochet with a single crochet in the next, and single crochet in the second last, and eliminate this one. Don't work a single crochet in this one because we want a total of 3 for this row. Then chain up 9, go into the next shell with a shell. So go all the way across doing the same exact thing until the end of the row, and I'll meet you guys on my very final row, because this is the second last row. Now we are going to go on and do, after this we shall be working on our final row, and then we do some other extra touches. I've come to the end of the row and I've chained my 9 chains, and I'll count from the base to the third chain. So 1, 2, and into the third chain I'll place my last double crochet there. So this is how your work looks like, and now we're going to our very final row. And for the final row we're going to be chaining 3, turn your work, chain up 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then eliminate the ones on the sides. So we want 1 single crochet for this row, so that's the very last single crochet there, and then chain chain 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and go into the next shell with a shell. A shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. This is how your work should look like. And then after this you're going to chain up 11, and then go into the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets and place a single crochet there, and then chain 11 and place a shell in the next shell. So you're going to go all the way across, repeating the same exact thing, and you should notice that now we are out of single crochets. We no longer have single crochets left because we have done our very last single crochet at this point. So that's how your work should look like. You're going to go all the way across until the end of the row, and I'll be showing you what to do from there. So I've placed my very last single crochet here, and I'm going to chain up 11, and then count from the base of this chain below and go into the third chain with a double crochet. So that marks the end of this row, and now we're done with the base of the bralette for now. Alright, so I'm going to do an edging around this my piece, and I'm going to just attach into the very first space between this stitch and this stitch. So I'm going to go in there because we don't have definite stitches at this point. So you're going to attach your yarn, chain up 3, place 3 more double crochets in that same space like that, and then skip 2 spaces, and into the third you're going to place a single crochet. Then chain up 3, place 3 more double crochets, skip 2 spaces, so 1, 2, and into the next space you're going to place a single crochet, chain up 3, place 3 more double crochets in that same space, skip 2 spaces, and into the third you're going to place a single crochet. So we are going to repeat that until we get to the bra cup. So this is what we have right now on the top of our bralette here, and now you're going to chain up 3, place 3 more in that space. Right now we have 1 space here, and then the next space you shall be counting this 1 stitch here, and then you go into the next with a single crochet. So now we have stitches, we are no longer working into the spaces. So chain 3, place 3 more in that same stitch, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, and into the third you're going to go in with a single crochet like that. So we are going to do this all the way up. Chain 3, place 3 more double crochets in that same space where the chain is coming from, skip 2 stitches, and into the third place a single crochet. So go all the way up until you get to this point, and I'll show you what to do. So I've placed my 3 double crochets here, and you can see the next single crochet that I'm going to do. I'm going to skip this and then place it in the chain 1 space there. So after your single crochet you're going to chain up 3, place 3 more in that same space, that same chain 1 space, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and into the third you're going to place a single crochet. So this is the point where we are going to be attaching our strap. So we are going to go all the way down doing the same exact thing, chain 3, 3 double crochets in that same exact stitch, skip 2 stitches, and into the third place a single crochet. So I'm trying to speed up a bit because we are doing the same exact thing all the way down, the same exact as what we've been doing here. So you can see this. So I've come to the bottom part of my bra cup. I have 1 stitch left after doing this scallop here, and now I'm going to just mirror the same exact thing on this other side. So you can see there's this and this, so I'm going to skip this and this, and into the third I'm going to place a single crochet. So I just want to balance what's on this side. We shall have that gap, but don't worry about it. It looks okay, and it helps us also close up that deep V. And then after this you're going to continue, chain 3, place 3 more double crochets in that same space, skip 2 stitches, single crochet in the next. So we are going to go all the way up and all the way down and then all the way to this side. So just do the same exact thing that you've done on this side onto this side, and then I'll meet you when you're done with that. Alright, so I'm coming to the end and I've placed my 3 double crochets and I'll go into the last space with a single crochet. I hope you remembered that when you started working here, we were going in between stitches, not into the stitches. So this is how my work looks like. You can see that scallop edging looks really nice, and it went all the way to the sides of the top. And after this, you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. And now we're going to start working on the straps. We're going to make very long straps that can make an X at the back of our back side of the top. So you're going to attach your yarn in the middle here, and then chain up 3 and place a double crochet in that same place where you attached your yarn. So you'll have 2 spaces in here. Then chain up 3 and go in between those 2 stitches and place a double crochet. So that's how we are going to be doing our strap. Chain 3, go in between the 2 stitches at the bottom and place a double crochet. So this helps us like have a very strong strap. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll let you know how many segments I did and how many inches. This is how your strap will look like, and we are going to go back on it. So I'm still determining the length that I need, and then we shall go back on it to make it even thicker. So I did a total of 50 of these segments, and that measured about 40 inches. And after you get the length of the strap that you want, you can make it longer or shorter, whatever you want. You're going to chain up 3 and single crochet in that same space. Now we're going all the way down the strap. So chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space. So that's the repeat for this all the way to the beginning of the strap. You're going to just chain 3 and go into that space and make a single crochet, then chain 3, go into the next space with a single crochet, and keep doing that until you come back to the back up, and I'll let you know what to do from there, how to end your strap. This helps us thicken the strap and make it more strong and sturdy. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of the strap, and I'm chaining 3 and placing my very last single crochet in this very last space, and then I'll chain up 3 and place a slip stitch where we attached our strap when we were starting it. So go into that space and make a slip stitch, and then chain up 1, cut your yarn, and then go to the wrong side of your work and tie these 2 knots together. these two strands together into a knot. So I've done 3 knots, and you're going to cut that, and this is how our final strap looks like. You can see it's strong enough, you wouldn't worry about it snapping or anything, and it still looks cute. So you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. So I'm done with my second one, and this is how they look like, identical. And then the next thing that we are going to do is to put tassels at these points. There's this high point and the low point. We are going to be putting tassels at both points, and then I'm going to be showing you how. So I'm going to grab my yarn, and I'm going to be using one of my phone cases to estimate the length of the tassels that I want. So let me put this away for now. So I'm going to grab one of my phone cases. This is it. And then I'm going to roll yarn over like this. So I'm holding this end like this, and I'm rolling over for several times, for a number of times. I don't know how many, but I'm going to just continue doing that. So I've rolled over this strand here, that's why I'm no longer holding. So I'm going to go all the way around. This is just to make sure that I have equal strands on my tassel. But if you don't mind, you can as well use your hands. So after this, I'm going to just fold over this and try to pull it out like that, and then I'll cut at any point like this, and I'll pull out that strand, the one that I was holding before, because it may not be the same length as these, but these are going to be the same exact length. So these are the short tassels that I'm going to be attaching to my top. I'm going to grab my top and place it on the right side. So this is the right side of my top. So that means you can get any item that's the length of the tassels that you want, half the length, because we're going to be folding it over like this. But I don't want my tassels to be so long, because this is a crop top, so I want them to be just moderate, not long, not too short. So I'll get a total of 5 strands here, fold them over, make sure they are folded into half, and then I'll get the point where I want to attach them, go in from the back side, pull through this loop, and now you'll have a space here at this point, and you're going to just pass it through like this and then pull tight. So you can see how the tassel has come out. I'll show you one more time. 1 2 3 4 5. These are 5 strands. Fold them into half, and then go in from the back side, from below all the way up, pull through this loop, and then get that hole at the base and pass through these strings. So you're going to make sure you pull tight until all of them are through, like that. Don't stress about these ones passing through. You can always chop them off and have a perfect tassel. So we're going to go all the way across, attaching these small tassels here and at the high points, at the low points and the high points. So let me do that again. So that means I had to do some more strands on my phone case. So for this one, you'll go into the single crochet here in the middle, and then you'll attach your tassel. And I'm going to go all the way across doing the same exact thing, and I'll show you how my top will come out. Okay, so I went ahead to attach tassels at all the high and low points, and this is how my top came out. And now I want to show you how to work with the straps that we made. So I've put my work on the wrong side like that, and I'll get this strand on this side, the strap on this side, and put it through somewhere at the top of the side. So just find a gap where to fix it, because we didn't do any provision for the straps. We didn't need to because we have spaces already. So we put it to this side, and then get the one on this side and put it on the opposite side. So I'm also just going to create a space there and put it through, and this is how the X will be at the back. And then the other thing that you're going to do is put it through the very last gap at the base of the top. There's that big gap where we didn't attach a tassel. You'll just pass it through like this and then tie a knot. So this is how your top will look like at the back, and then this is how it will look like at the front when tied. So I'm going to be attaching some photos of the finished piece. And yeah, this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, I'm very sorry. I'll make sure I improve in my next one. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for all that love and support. Bye.